Namaskar. Welcome to the FDP on Emerging Issues in Higher Education and Research. This is a 5-day FDP program initiated by Department of Business Administration, PV Siddhartha College of Arts and Science. Today we have with us Professor Arun Kumar Shivakumar of Dean, VIT School of Business, VIT AP University, Andhra Pradesh. And the topic of today's discussion is Innovative Pedagogies in Higher Education, integrating revised Bloom's Taxonomy and the flipped classroom approach. As being the teachers of higher education institutions, our job is to make our passive type of approach of the students to the active learner mode. So this particular topic, I strongly believe, will enhance the students' ability to think about the higher order thinking, because the topic is also talking about integrating BTL, Bloom's Taxonomy norms with that of the flipped classroom model. So these two, what I can say, the innovative approaches will definitely add value to the learning process. So as you're all aware, we have several domains of Bloom's Taxonomy. We have 6 levels like knowledge, comprehension, application, analysis, synthesis, and evaluation. The job of the teacher is to upgrade the student from lower order to the higher order. At the same time, today, the classroom engagement is becoming a little bit challenging because the focus is missing, attention spans are reduced. So in this context, flipped classroom model is the best model because in the flipped classroom model, the teacher will have the liberty to use the classroom time purposefully. At the same time, the information sharing or information offloading will be avoided because the information will be shared to the students in advance before the class. And at the same time, the student will be prepared in advance to listen to the class so that the teacher and student together, they can think about certain activities which will enhance their learning capabilities. So on this particular topic, we are very privileged to invite Dr. Arun Kumar, the Dean of VIT School of Business, VIT AP University. It is located in the state of Andhra Pradesh, the capital city of Andhra Pradesh, called as Amaravati. So I formally now introduce this Dr. Arun Kumar. He is an accomplished academician and Dean at VIT School of Business, Amaravati. And he is having a diverse background and expertise. He taught several subjects, especially his domain expertise is in strategic management, corporate strategy, digital and social media marketing, services marketing, logistics and supply chain management, retail management, business research methods, international business, brand management, organizational behavior. So along with this, he is having a very innovative classroom approach. His teaching approach is marked by integration of industry-relevant case studies and research papers, emphasizing modern practical learning methodologies such as flipped classroom and Bloom's taxonomy approach. Dr. Arun Kumar has extensive international teaching experience. He worked in several institutions in many countries, including St. Teresa's International College, Bangkok, Thailand, Raphael's Education Group, Singapore and Malaysia, and SP Jain Center of Management, Dubai, where he instructed students from diverse cultural background. So he is having a varied experience in terms of handling many different kind of cultural background students, so that he knows how to handle the classroom differences in the most purposeful way. Furthermore, he has contributed significantly to the curriculum development, module creation, and pedagogical innovation in postgraduate programs. Arun Kumar has a prolific research record with publications in peer-reviewed journals and presentations at various international conferences. He has supervised both undergraduate and doctoral research projects, particularly focusing on research methods and statistical analysis using software such as SPSS and MOS IBM. Dr. Arun Kumar is recognized as a certified management teacher in strategic management by esteemed institutions such as IIM Bangalore, IIM Noida, IIM Kozhikode, IIM Kolkata, IIFT New Delhi, and BIMTech. He has also received certifications of excellence for his contribution to educational technology and online teaching methodology from IIT Bombay. One of his notable contributions is a research project titled Integrating Flipped Classroom with Bloom's Modified Taxonomy Model as a New Paradigm for Management Education, an exploratory study, which was funded by ICSSR under the Ministry of HRD under IMPRESS scheme. Additionally, Arun Kumar has served as an editorial board member and reviewer for reputable academic journals, further solidifying his standing in academic community. His dedication to advancing management education and fostering innovation teaching practices makes him a valuable asset to the academic world. With this brief introduction, I proudly introduce Dr. Arun Kumar to the participants.
Thank you,
Dr. Arun,
Professor. Thank you,
yes,
Professor. Thank you, Professor Rajesh, Dean, Siddhartha College of Arts and Science, for a wonderful opportunity to interact with a diverse audience. Thank you, Professor.
welcome, sir. So you can start your session, sir.
Yes, yes. Okay. So if you can see my classroom. Good morning, everyone. I think on this beautiful Sunday we are interacting and we are trying to add value to our delivery of class facilitation. You can see my class delivery in VIT University. These are some of the photos. You can see how I deliver the class. So the context here is we would like to understand the new pedagogical approach by integrating flipped classroom and Bloom's taxonomy. And if you've got any questions at the end of the session, please ask me. Um, so when you look at the any successful learning, there are different kinds of learning. We call that as active learning, contextual learning, engaged learning, interactive learning, and social learning. Okay, the most important element what I see here is the experiential learning. Because this is where we are able to connect the academics and industry together. And in terms of designing our curriculum and pedagogy, we need to understand the expectations of the industry. Accordingly, we have to prepare our curriculum. Because most of my observation and research survey, most of the classes are very monotonous, and the faculty, including me, I was not able to productively spend my 50 or 1 hour of sessions given to me, right? So, and in terms of certain things like interest among the students, engaging the students, and making the students participative inside the classroom is missing. So that's a big concern for all the faculty community. And for that reason, I was thinking about doing a research, and I was given a funded project, and I did a research across various MBA institutions accredited to NAC and got good funds from MHRD and the IMPRESS funds. And I proved that flipped classroom, when it is integrated with the Bloom's taxonomy, will give you a good successful result. So that's where I started doing research in Management Institute, and the outcome of the research I would like to share with you. So please feel free if then and there you stop me if you got any questions, so that we can benefit from each other's interaction. So The first aspect is active learning is very, very important. Students should interact with the learning process because they should not be very passive. Um, Contextual, they have to bring in their own experience into the classroom. For example, I teach strategic management and marketing management, retail management. I will ask the students, what is their buying experience? Can you please throw light on that? So that what happened, they are able to put in a lot of contextual experience, bring in own experience over here. And also, interactions among the peer and interaction with the moderator and facilitator is very much required in terms of engaged learning. And also, the social through observation. When you go to any place, awareness is very, very, very important. Learning through observation, that's very, very important. When I go to your bank, I see how the customers are interacting, how many minutes they are standing. When I go to DMart, I see the observation and critical behavior of the consumer. Because in my area, like domain of management, there is a person called Skiffman. He's a big author from America. But the behavior of consumers in India is totally different, where the American Skiffman does not know about our behavior. Yes or no? So he may not know our behavior, right? When we say, he says people in the hassle goes right, but our consumer go to the left. That's what happened in Indian consumer behavior, and we people are very price. Most of the people are very price conscious, and if you say discount, you can see the crowd. I think I can quote example of how then Geo gives you know free SIM card. Like ration shop, we were crowded in the Geo retail showroom, right? So these are the things most of the Americans does not know. So in that context, let's move forward in the process of understanding the flipped classroom. You see, so what is good about the flipped classroom? You can see this, picture over here. I can give you some insight about this. John Bergman and Oren Sams, who is the founder of this concept called the flipped classroom. And the flipped classroom approach has three stages. Okay, one is before the classroom. Okay, and during the classroom, and I mean in class, and also out of the classroom. We call it as out of the classroom, right? So yeah, so I think everyone can able to share my see my screen over here. You see, I'm moving the cursor over here where before the classroom, students supposed to prepare and participate in class activity, right? So how do you make the students participate? Because most of the time we are giving providing information to the students inside the classroom. We put a PPT and read the PPT, explain the PPT, and the people ask some questions. That's it. So what happened? The productivity of the classroom goes, and maximum it is two-way between the faculty and the students. But there is one concept called the peer learning process, right? Uh, Peer learning is that they should learn from the fellow colleagues. So that is very, very, very important, right? So because for example, inside our classroom there are 60 participants, 60 insights, brainstorming happens, lot of moderation happens, lot of new things happens. Do you understand this? So that we call it as in classroom activity. But in that in classroom activity, there are two kinds of learning happens that we are going to see that. Now I'll show you some. Let me see this slide. I'll come back to the slide again. Don't worry. But what's happening here that we need to understand. Yeah. So most of the time, if you look at our classroom, understanding and remembering we are trying to impart among the students. But the higher order thinking of creation, evaluation, analyze, and apply, which is not happening inside the classroom, this is our, concern, and this is what where a faculty has to prepare ourselves. You understand this? And I tell you one thing, out of my experience, I got 26, 27 years of teaching experience, and I have taught, in overseas also. When I go inside the classroom and I see the students, if the students are not showing interest, interactive, then it is nothing wrong with the students. I feel that something wrong with me as a faculty, as a facilitator. I'm sure about it. So in that context, sorry, how should I engage my students? So that is the botheration here. So making the student remember, understand should come somewhere here. You know, it should be, we call it as inside the classroom. It should happen, right? So you look at this diagram here. Yeah. So the lower order thinking should happen somewhere here before the classroom, and higher order thinking like application and analysis happens here, and in out of the class, evaluation and creation of knowledge happens. So I said 6 levels here. I like to reinforce in the Bloom's taxonomy. I'm going to teach you in detail about Bloom's taxonomy and how to formulate the objectives using Bloom's taxonomy, and what are the alignment of the Bloom's taxonomy in terms of the objective and assessment. That's all. These are the things very important to the faculty. My friendly request to all my fellow colleagues is that please, try to implement this flip the classroom. I given lot of references and links, and in fact, given shared my article just published in Quadrant One journal, British Journal of Education Review. I published that also. I have given the link. You can read that. If you want to, earn respect among the students, what you're supposed to do here is that you have to employ this approach, flip the classroom approach. So if you use this, definitely what happens, students will start respecting you, and also students will be engaged in every means of learning process. So in that context, these are the three stages. Let me tell you, before classroom, and during the classroom, all right, and out of the classroom, what a student should do, what is your role as a facilitator. That is our concern. Clear? So, moving further, let me give you a conceptual understanding about the flipped classroom approach, and I share my experience also, so that we together can formulate, what you call this approach can be implemented inside your classroom, and I am sure that you are going to be more able to enjoy your facilitation session wherever you are. And a lot of articles are available in Google Scholar, and you can Google it and get a lot of insight. And in fact, I'll share some of the links which you can download articles from that. Okay, so what I will do, that experience also I will share with you, so that you can also practice that, so that students can be engaged to a greater extent. So for a couple of minutes, I will try to give you, throw light some of the abstract conceptual knowledge about the classroom, because this session is getting recorded. so that when you review this video lecture later, I think it will be very useful. For that reason, let me say what is flipped classroom approach. Um, it has two things. One is summative and formative assessment happens in flipped classroom. And as a faculty, definitely it consumes our time and commitment, and it is not overall overnight. We cannot do any magic here, right? So you have to put a lot of thought process, and initially it will be little, time consuming. Later, when you get into practice, that is, we all know that practice makes a man perfect. Definitely, it will use you a lot of, and it pulls you. It creates interest, a lot of benefits, and which you will be feeling. All right, in terms of students' feedback, in terms of performance appraisal from the management, in terms of recognition of your efforts, all that happens. That's what I call it as a magic will happen. Okay, so you should be always passionate about your teaching, and don't say that why should I put such so much of effort. And that should not be attitude over here. You should love yourself. What I mean, you should love your students, and you should love your society, so that you will do some great things, and a lot of transformation will happen. Yeah. So we need when you look at that, we need a strong pedagogy that drives technology, never other way around. Technology should not drive you. So you should have a control. That's what I'm repeatedly telling. AI should not control you. AI should be inbuilt. You should allow students to, you know, use AI, but make sure you have your assessment so that they will contribute their intellectual skills over there, not the AI. Okay. So moving further, so what is the goal of a flipped classroom model? Focus more on understanding and application. They try to recall the facts, and they also provide students with more control over their learning, give students a greater sense of their own responsibility, and of course provide students with more opportunity to learn from the peers. Look at the line called peer learning is very, very important, because what happened here, when the students are asked to prepare for the class, and they have to prepare and come to the class, right? So that what happened, each students inside the classroom will give you their insights. So I will tell you my experience. Hold on, please. Let me complete this. So how I operate a flipped classroom, I will give my experience so that it's like a case for you, so you'll understand better. So the dynamics here is like move lessons, lecture materials out of the classroom through online delivery. So it means that what we are trying to say here is use LMS, Google Classroom, Microsoft Office. There are many ways, even WhatsApp also. You can many ways where you can move the lesson lecture material out of the classroom through online delivery, so that they do self-reading preparation, and do pre-reading and come to the classroom. So move homework into the classroom where the instructor can service them. So they do a lot of interaction analysis inside the classroom. So application analysis happens inside the classroom. So the application and analysis happens inside the classroom. So that's where during the class happens here. Next, what happened? Use opened up time for discussion and practice. Extend the conversation outside of the classroom. So that what happened? The whatever peer discussion and all that, they go out of the classroom. Maybe in my case, I want my students to learn about consumer behavior. So all the deliberation happens in the classroom. They'll take out to the hypermarket and do a lot of observation, and try to evaluate, and try to structure the learning, and create some new knowledge. This is what we need for any kind of intrapreneur or entrepreneur. That's our vision, right? Most of the beautiful companies recruit people who can who have the knowledge of evaluation, who have the knowledge of creation of new knowledge, right? So this is very very important, and the basic principles of flipped classroom. What is traditionally done in the class is now done at home. What is done at home can be done in the classroom, but it really is not simple. So this is the inputs about the principles of flipped classroom. Stay on. This is just throw on your basic conceptual knowledge. I've not come to the context yet. So what is again a flipped classroom? Acquire knowledge at home in the preparation for the lesson before the classroom. How it happens, I am going to share my experience here. Preparation usually includes online video-based material, but can any worthwhile resources. The teachers create the schedule, students watch, observe, and compile questions about the topic before the lesson. The teacher accelerate learning by consolidating the information taught in the tutorials. Right? Students control the pace; they have their own pace. Uh, when to watch the clip, engage, all that they will do on their own. So you don't moderate on that. They can rewind it, repeat it, all that. Students can ask questions in lessons based on the level of understanding. Students and teacher work together and develop personalized, deeper learning in lessons. This happens here, and you have to make your YouTube video or TED talks can be shared. It can be research, PowerPoints, handouts, resource you have already. Even reading specific chapters in a textbook, you can ask them to do that. Facilitate via Moodle, LMS, Teams, Google Classroom. So the flipped classroom is a means to increase teacher contact time, an environment that increases students' responsibility, blending of direct instruction and constructive learning, a class where all students are engaged, a class where absent students fall behind, a class where all students are engaged in their learning, right? And make sure that flipped classroom is not just online video, posting an online video, or about replacing teachers with videos or online class. Students working without a structure. Don't think like that. Student working in isolation, student spending it. It's not flipped classroom. Okay. So will student like the flipped classroom? Yes, of course. They are doing a homework, less stressful, more active learning from the role plays, debates, or collaborative work, which is happening in the classroom. Self-paced learning because you are already well in advance posting the content through the LMS. So it gives a great opportunity for them, right? So, so this is my article. This is my survey. Now I'm coming to a case. I'm sharing my experience over to you before I explain Bloom's taxonomy, right? Okay, dear friends, everyone, please listen here. This is a friendly, interactive session. I would I would like to throw light on this. If you look at the Bloom's taxonomy, there are how many levels? It is 6 levels we have, isn't it? So, what are those levels? You see, remembering, understanding. Okay, so remembering and understanding, it is called an individual space. It is happening in the individual space in the 3 stages of flipped classroom. It is happening before the classroom. Before they come to the classroom, it is happening. Do you understand this? So, as a faculty, how we can make this happen? That's our discussion now. So, remembering and understand. So, what I will do here is I use Google Classroom. I have given MS Teams. So, what I will post all these study materials as per my subject guide this time to this time, this session I am going to handle. So well in advance, I give my subject guide to the students, and they know that through the timetable when I am going to handle it. So when they come to my classroom, what they supposed to do? That has to be given well in advance to my students. So this exercise we call it as pre-reading. So I'm sure that most of the students come to the classroom without pre-reading. This is what the flaw happens here. So when you want your class to be interesting, what you're supposed to do, make the student, I mean, you have a 60 student, make the student learn. So how do you do that? So connecting with the students through online. So you have your Google Classroom, you have your MS Team, whatever learning management software, whatever you institutions provides you. A lot of free software is also available. What you do here is try to record the conceptual knowledge, lecture based. Keep your laptop, record your inputs, conceptual knowledge, right? So give them some links, articles, case studies related to that concept. Okay. So how do you do this recording? So that's the case here. I have given you lot of software to record your videos, right? So you record your video. So all you need is a laptop and a laptop with the camera. Keep the laptop, record it. Use this software. Many of the software is free in cost, and there is one beautiful software which I use in many institutions. It is called, I have highlighted, Screencast-O-Matic. So minimum amount you have to pay. You can record, you can edit, you can put in picture. So many things you can do it, right? And in fact, you can upload in YouTube. That link also you can post, and you can have a wider reach of your audience. If you are a good faculty, you have a lot of mileage. You will be called for many workshops, lectures. If your beautiful conceptual video float, the video should be very well planned and articulated, so that it is a very lucid learning for the students. So what do you do? Record that. Use all this software. You see a person using a laptop, record that. Do you understand this? And there are a lot of recording techniques available. Watch YouTube. You can put a green. Normally, I put a green screen and record it. I can change my background. When I talk about strategy, I bring Michael Porter back of my screen so that it creates interest. A lot of things you can do, a lot of magic you can do, a lot of interesting things. We are not doing anything static. We are doing a lot of interactions, right? A lot of softwares are available now. AI tools are available. You should enjoy doing that, because now the conservative way of teaching gone, right? And now there is a lot of new technology has come, and lot of higher education institutions are implementing those technology and digital way of learning happening, and we should have a digital connect with the students. Dear faculty members, my apology if you are a senior person, my apology on that. If you are a junior person, please follow my experience. I think digital learning happen. The modern students are very computerly literate, computer savvy, and they have a lot of exposure. And they come to the class with that exposure, and you give a monotonous lecture to them. That's where the students really feel bored. It is not the problem with the student; it's the problem with the faculty. I am sure about it. So make this session interesting. And also, one of my experience here, contextual, conceptual, humorous joke. When a consumer goes in, what I happen, what the consumer does, all that, try to crack some humor. Humor is one of the successful element inside the classroom you should apply. Okay. So contextual, that's where you have to be extrovert. You have to practice yourself. you have to be so much informative. I think, ladies and gentlemen, and my fellow colleagues, you have to prepare a lot. You have to every day read newspaper, and you have to update with what is the inflation rate, what is the GDP, unemployment, what are the company, what product they manufacture. So much of information you have. When you try to talk with a lot of demonstrative example, people will follow you. You understand this? People will definitely follow you. People will respect. That is my experience. I'm a humble experience. What I'm telling you. That's why give respect and take respect. Give inputs, information, and take your respect. Earn your respect. Don't demand respect among the students. So please have a snapshot of this later and take use the software. Try to explore the software. I tell you, this is not an one-time lecturing. I would like to talk to you. It's about my feelings. It's about my soul experience. I'm sharing with you. I'm sharing my success story. How I am very much liked by the student. It's not about your personality. It is not about your dressing. It's about your content, which add beauty to your uh, professorship. Do you understand this? So that's where you earn your respect. So moving further, when you talk about this flipped classroom, so what you do, use all the software and try to make the students understand the conceptual knowledge. Remember them. Give some problem activity. Let them do it. So that space, understanding and remembering happens, before the classroom in an individual space. When you talk about the application and analysis, which is happening in the group space, where as a faculty I just moderate by putting the PPT, giving the case. A lot of deliberation happens inside the classroom. You understand this? So a lot of things happens within the inside the classrooms, and I am a moderator, and lot of peer learning, lot of insight. Why? Because already the students did lot of homework activities, lot of things they have read, a lot of case studies. They are very good in the conceptual knowledge. They understand the concept. They can able to recollect the remember that, right? So this is happens, before the class. So with that amount of knowledge, when they come, and inside the classroom you put what are the case discussion, what are the conceptual knowledge, what are the corporate examples. You throw some corporate examples for 5 to 10 minutes. Give the context, give a scenario of learning, what you are supposed to learn, what is the outcome of learning, what is your expectations, all that. To try to 5 to 10 minutes deliver, stop, let them do a lot of deliberation. So what happens? Peer learning happens. Each one will give many insights, right? So I'll take a little water. 1 minute. Yeah. So what happened inside the classroom? What happened? A lot of deliberation. So when I talk about any particular concepts, each students will come up with the insight. So what is your role there? You save your energy. You have loaded with a lot of information in your mind, and you are supposed to just facilitate for 5 to 10 minutes of the conceptual knowledge. Then what happened? You ask them to do a lot of brainstorming among the students. So what happened? A lot of thought process flow across the classroom, right? So lot of thought process flow across. It is add inside the classroom. So it is the individual, it is the group to capture the concepts, relate the concept, debate the concept. If needed, you can have a role play also inside the classroom, so that I think they can do a beautiful job. A lot of insights will happen, and all the students over there get interested on the concepts. Because what happened? It is not the one faculty one man show here. It is the multifaceted opinion, deliberation, discourse happens among the class people. So in that, what happens? Lot of insights, lot of thought process, a lot of consensus, and finally, what happened at the end of the session? The learning how outcome happens. Definitely, they can able to understand, right? Um, they can interpret things. They can summarize. Students who can able to summarize that, and some of the students will explain with example, try to infer, and they paraphrase and discussions, deliberations happens, and they try to use a demonstrative example, and they draw diagram, substantiate, and try to give you a lot of evidence of chart projected in the PowerPoint presentations. They solve it, they calculate it, whatnot. Everything happens in the application part. So the application and the creation, I mean the analysis happen. They will try to examine, they will organize, they can compare and contrast, and all that happen. So two things happen. One is application and analysis happens inside the classroom, and as I said, understanding and remembering before the classroom it happens. Are you clear about it? Again, I'm telling you, I'm moving the cursor here. Understanding and remembering, it is happening at their individual space, which is before the classroom. Okay, I'll tell you my experience. This flipped classroom, when we have an SP Jain, we conduct pre-reading quiz among the students. So if you want, a lot of softwares are available. Put 10 question, minimum 10 question, and try to conduct a pre-reading quiz. And what you do, that quiz you do in your continuous assessment. You try to incorporate in your internal marks. So what happens? The seriousness will emerge among the students, right? Because the pre-reading, whoever make the quiz, that marks will be considered for your assessment. Tell them, there it starts. The students will start doing pre-reading, and they can able to earn their own marks, and a lot of new things will happen. A lot of transformation will happen among the students. So I tell you, please have pre-reading quiz among the students before the classroom. That is a strategy we follow. Try to do that, or paper and pen pencil also you can do that. But a lot of online, just like that, you can do it. Just objective type pre-reading quiz you conduct, and immediately you show. Once the quiz mark also you can showcase in your the classroom, so that creates a charm and interest, some kind of enthusiasm, excitement can be you can see among the students here. So that's a great thing you can do over here. Next one is after the classroom. So when you look at the Bloom's taxonomy after the classroom, so this is where very important. Mm, say for example, I asked you to do a lot of applications, how the consumer behavior, and how impulse behavior has been determined. Some kind of contextual things I'm giving to the students. So what they do here is they go outside, they go to the supermarket. In terms of my marketing class, they will critically examine, make judgment whether the concepts are applied. For example, service quality. So you go to the bank, do an observation, then see, evaluate whether it's happening or not. So students is able to go out of the classroom with the deliberation of conceptual knowledge, what's happened inside the classroom. Then they judge, critique, and test, defend, and criticize. This happened outside the classroom, and after all that process outside the classroom, they can able to design, they can able to build, plan, construct, produce, devise, and invent new things, which is what we call it as an entrepreneur, right? So our Prime Minister is very concerned about entrepreneur, and also those persons who can do new things within the company is called intrapreneur. So we need two people. One is intrapreneur, the other one is entrepreneur. Do you understand? So this kind of flipped classroom approach will help us to build and transform our student community. And if more and more entrepreneurs will come, we don't bother about the employment. Employment will be created by these great students, right? So this is our vision of building employment. So try, hope you are clear about the flipped classroom before we move to the next level of fundamental and objective understanding about Bloom's taxonomy. Clear? So I'm sure that you will practice this exercise, but I'm telling you, when you float a material or float a case study, you analyze the case study, and don't give a physical case study. Also, now video case studies are available. Give it to the students, ask them to watch, ask them to take notes, put it in WhatsApp video also, or Google Classroom, or MST, and provide the relevant textbook informations, the PDF document to them. Provide some research articles, provide some industry reports, provide some case study information, okay, newspaper article, all that you provide them. Ask them to, try to, before the classroom, ask them to go through that. Let them, also they can discuss. If really they have, not clear about it, they can ask you some questions or mail you, or they can put some questions, throw some questions in the learning management software or Google Classroom so that you can respond. So provide the necessary resources. That's what I'm trying to say to the student. Enrich the students. Go extra mile. What I mean, go extra mile. Never ever blame the student. That is my say here. Never ever blame the students. My dear fellow colleagues and friends, out of our sole effort, if you practice this flipped classroom approach, definitely I think there is you will earn a great name among the management, among the stakeholder, any stakeholder, even students, employee, whoever, they will appreciate it. Now let us move forward to the Bloom's taxonomy, because an insight is required in terms of Bloom's taxonomy. This Bloom's taxonomy is originally published in 1956 and revised in 1972. And This revised taxonomy, is a great tool. It is given by Bloom's in 1956 and Anderson in 2001. Two dimension, the two dimensional cognitive process and knowledge. You can see here. I think you see here there are two changes. One is the revised. We have creation of knowledge. There it is evaluation and synthesis. So we are very much concerned about the creation of knowledge and evaluation. All my inputs on the revised Bloom's taxonomy. I am not referring to the old Bloom's taxonomy. So there are subtle changes happened here. One is evaluation. The other one is creation of knowledge. So moving forward, the two dimensions are cognitive process and knowledge. This is very much required for any student. So a statement of an objective contains a verb and noun. The verb describes the intended cognitive process. The noun describes the knowledge students are expected to acquire. So there are two things: verb, cognitive process, and noun, knowledge. So the student will learn to differentiate the cognitive process between rational numbers and irrational numbers. That is the cognitive process and knowledge. So let's talk about, if you look at this one, cognitive complexity, higher order abilities and lower order abilities. All these ways, most of the institutions, exceptions are there always, they are focusing on lower order abilities. Maximum they go to remembering and understanding. And it is a monotonous lecture. That's why they reproduce knowledge, but they don't create knowledge. We want creation of knowledge, right, among the students. So they have to elevate to the next level of application, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. It happens in the higher order abilities. And the continuum underlying the knowledge dimension is concreteness and abstractness. So most of the people, concrete, conceptual, procedural, and metacognitive level, we have to elevate. Then only, if you look at the taxonomy table here, the cognitive process dimension, remembering, understanding, remember about the flipped classroom, which is happening before the classroom, during the classroom, apply, analyze, after the classroom, evaluate, and creation happens. So what is the knowledge dimensions here? Let's look at the knowledge dimensions. So first level is factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, metacognitive knowledge. So as a faculty, as a facilitator, as a professor, you should able to distinguish the knowledge dimension. There are a lot of materials available, lot of YouTubes are available to understand which one is factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, metacognitive. Then only you can bring a holistic learning happens among the students. So let's move further. If you look at that, in designing your learning, instructional objective, the students will learn to implement, reduce, reuse, recycle approach to conservation. So we supposed to do, you see, the resource reuse cycle, verb implement, knowledge dimension, all this knowledge we are supposed to give. So let's take an example. You see here, I have given one mark X. The student will learn to implement the reduce, reuse, reverse. So what happened? Application. So no, and this application we call it what knowledge level it is there, what knowledge dimension. It is at the procedural level. It is there. Are you clear about it? It is at the procedural level. Correct or not? So it is happening at the procedural level. Moving further, so the major types of factual knowledge. Let's look at the factual knowledge. I also given some examples. Each one will, from different domain, but try to, relate that using your intellectual abilities. So when you talk about the factual knowledge, knowledge of terminology, knowledge of specific details and elements, you see the example, the basic elements student must know to acquainted with the discipline or solve problem. Knowledge of term, technical vocabulary, all that. Knowledge of specific detail, major natural, reliable source of it. So like that, concept. These are the factual knowledge. Next level we talk about what is that conceptual knowledge. So what are the three types of classification? Principles and generalization, theories, models, and structure. These knowledge are conceptual knowledge. Correct? So I have given you an example. In the right side, principles, Maslow theory of hierarchy, motivation theory, equity theory, all knowledge of principles, theory of evaluation, structure of business model, service quality model, we call it a Porter value chain model, all that at the knowledge of theories, models, and structure. This is very, very important. Next one is procedural knowledge. This is where it's very the higher level, higher dimensions of knowledge, subject specific skills, communication skill, marketing skills, right? Subject specific technique. I use a lot of techniques, tools to analyze data, knowledge of criteria for determining when to use appropriate procedures. Correct? So criteria. So that criteria, Newton's second law, the criteria we can use it. So these are the procedural knowledge. Next one is metacognitive knowledge, strategic knowledge, cognitive task, and self knowledge, knowledge that is critiquing essay, personal strength. You do a lot of critics and they're trying to know this knowledge. This knowledge is a superb knowledge. And when you look at the cognitive task, including appropriate contextual and conditional knowledge, this is where, as a teacher, as a facilitator, you have to move forward to provide them metacognitive knowledge. So, in this process of categorizing in the cognitive process dimension, as I repeatedly telling you, the 6 categories in the cognitive process dimension and related cognitive process are presented in the next slide. Okay, so look at this. Let's have a deeper breath. Friends, I tell you one thing. Uh, you know, in midnight, 12 o'clock, if I ask you what is that 6 levels of Bloom's revised taxonomy, and which one is a higher order thinking, which one lower order thinking, when you go for an interview, when you talk to the students, please make sure you try to, Google it, watch YouTube video. I given some links here. I given some references at the end of the slide. Please read my article also, and you'll get a beautiful idea, right? So, and also during I will give you the outcome of my survey output, what I did with the lower order thinking, what I did with the higher order thinking, what the professors across India are following. My results are there. I will also share that shortly with you, so that you will know. And it is not rocket science, my friends. It is possible. It is practically possible. All you need little time you have to put when you want to transform your career. If you want to do a successful, if you want to hone your expertise, I'm certain that you have to understand these 2 concepts. So first one is, let's talk about remembering, recognizing, listing, retrieving, naming, and finding. And next one is when you talk about understanding, explaining ideas or concepts, interpreting, summarizing, paraphrasing, classifying, and explaining. So these 2 things, lower order thinking, never ever do that inside the classroom, right? So you will use Google Classroom before the class, give it to the students to do all that. Next one, during the classroom, apply using information in another situation. Give a contextual example, give a case. What happened to Air India? What had happened to Tata Groups? What happened to the Kingfisher Airlines? All that case, another situation, ask them to apply, so that they learn. Implementation, carrying out, execution, all this happens here. In analysis also required. So information into parts to explore understanding and relationship, comparing, organizing, deconstruction, interrogating, finding. So bits and pieces of information about the particular industry. If you want to analyze an industry, for example, airline industry, a lot of deliberation, so much bits and pieces of information gathered, and how the industry performs. Apply the Porter 5 force model, apply the Porter value chain model, apply the Porter diamond model, all that concept, put that, and deliberation happen, then we will come to an analysis using all these tools. So, which is happening inside the classroom. Next level of higher order thinking, evaluation, justifying a decision or a course of action, checking hypothesis, critiquing, experimenting, and judging happens When they go out of the classroom, see the observation, see the real world, go into the internship, research project. Oh my God, so many things the students will do. And lot, what they learned in the classroom and what they observing should match. Alignment should be there. And whatever the understanding and remembering, they recollect the readings, case information, right? They try to physically witness. And once they done with the evaluation process, what happened? They try to create, generate new ideas. This is where I said the intrapreneur and the entrepreneur's approach happens here. Uh, Weaving things, designing, constructing, planning, producing, all that happens, right? So creation is a beautiful knowledge, my friends, where entrepreneurs need that. Lot of startup companies by youth, they end up here creating. Okay, so look at that. Bloom's taxonomy and revise already I given you, and let's go in detail one by one in remembering, recognizing, recalling. Okay, remembering what you do in the Blues taxonomy, retrieve relevant knowledge from the long-term memory. You're trying to retrieve. That's what you did. A lot of pre-reading, a lot of videos you watched. Your faculty own video, the students watch about the concepts. Whatever the concept that you record and post it to the students, they should be able to retrieve the relevant knowledge from the long-term memory. Yeah, that's the one. They should recognize that, recognize the dates of the important events, recall the things what I have done with them. The next level, understand, interpreting, exemplifying, classifying, summarizing, construct meaning from instructional message, including oral, written, graphic communication. I have given you some examples here. You can see that because each professor, each facilitator have your own context, your own domain. Try to equate this with your related domain and Google it. Do a lot of self-learning, right? Within that 1.5 hours, we cannot impart everything. You have to do a lot of exploration and deliberation. I am just kickstart you to the concept of revised Bloom's taxonomy and flip the classroom for transformation of your career. Repeatedly, I'm telling you, I want you to be great. So, it's up to you. If you want to be a successful professor, you want to do a career with passion, please do that. Clear? Next one is in and continuation to this understanding, interpreting, exemplifying, classifying, summarizing, inferring, comparing, and explaining. Do that. Next one is we taught applying, executing, and implementing. This is very very important in application part. In which situation, how to apply. This all happen in your classroom, where to apply, how to apply, how the fit will come. All that you need to understand. Next one, analysis, differentiate things, organize things, attributing, determine the point of view of the author. Lot of things which is also happen inside the classroom. The next level, go outside the classroom, do the observation, make judgment based on the criteria and standards, checking whether it's whatever learned in my pre-reading, do my remembering, understanding, do my analysis and application works well or not, checking, determine whether the scientist's conclusion, the case study follow from the observed data or not, critique, judge which two methods is the best way to solve the given problem. Okay, so critique that. Okay, when you go there, if you have a physical, when you do a research with the industry, when you do an internship, when you do a research project, go to the market, go to the industry, interface with the industry, get insight. This is what learning, not reading so many textbook and at the end of the day you forget all the concept. It's not that. This evaluation is very very important, and the final aspect of the Bloom's taxonomy is to create. generate, planning, producing. You have proposed a lot of put elements together to form a coherent or functional role, new concepts. Bansal, creation of Flipkart, Zomato, and Swiggy, new concepts, correct? And think about all those new inventions. Think about Steve Jobs. Think about our great people, Google, Sundar Pichai, and also you talk about talk about think about the creations created by Indian people like Satya Nadella. So many creations he has done. Microsoft, everywhere we are using it. And Chat GPT, I think it's part and parcel of our learning. Okay, so what is important for students to learn in the limited time available? The curriculum question is very, very important as a faculty. Okay, so how does I plan and deliver instructions that will result in the high levels of learning for a large number of students? The teaching questions. Clear? Next, the most important, assessment. And how does one select or design assessment? See, when you have this objective, that level of application or analysis you would like to assess, you should not go to the different level of assessment, then everything goes wrong. So alignment is very, very important. Next one, how does one ensure that objective teaching and assessment are consistent with one another? Alignment is our bigger question. Let's talk about it. So, friends, this is very important. Alignment refers to the degree of correspondence among the objectives, whatever we learn. I think every subject guide, we have an objective, we have a teaching, and we have an assessment also, right? So, assessment is very important. So, look at the, you can see objective assessment, the complete alignment should be there. Objective driven, teaching process activity driven, and assessment process test driven. Mapping all the three processes in the taxonomy table will help us to identify misalignment. So, if teaching is not aligned with the assessment, then something goes wrong. Even high quality teaching will not influence student performance on those assessments. So, if assessment are not aligned with the objective, then the results of the assessment will not reflect achievement of this objective. So, the degree of alignment is determined by comparing curricular objective with assessment, objective with teaching, and teaching with assessment. Taxonomy table, you can see here, we have already showcased the taxonomy table, different levels of knowledge. You remember that factual knowledge, conceptual knowledge, procedural knowledge, metacognitive. Like that, you have to formulate, and you have to put appropriate assessment techniques. So, if you look at that, if suppose in that table many cells contain three of them, then strong alignment is there. So determine the proportion of cells in which notation for all the three objectives, teaching activities and assessment appears. So strong alignment, weaker. So you can categorize your learning objective. A perfect alignment is required. Okay, these are the references. And coming back to the context of the, I would like to showcase the results of my study. One, bits and pieces of information. You see here, this is my article. Given the link here. My article was augmenting the fifth classroom experience by integrating revised Bloom's taxonomy, a faculty perspective. So the pre-class, see, I have classified here. You can see here the pre-class exercise. You can give reading material to the students. You can give PowerPoint slides, what you are going to use in the class. Lecture videos, record that. I showcase all those videos, discussion board and chat rooms, concepts, maps to draw and send it to them. Ask them to read the definition and terminology, memory activities, conceptual demonstration with example. All these, this is very much widely used. This is the results of my study among management education. I think all the professors are using this in the free class exercise using flipped classroom approach. In in-class exercise, student-led discussion, real-world example. See, when you want to have a real-world example, you should prepare well. That's why I expect you to spend quality time in the library, read the newspaper, magazine, journals, research articles, group team activities, in-class voting, polling of the concepts also can be done. Analysis of some literature you can give it to them. Video case analysis can be gamification. Gamification is a very much big activity inside the classroom. Simulations, all that is happening inside the classroom. And I don't think I am expecting you to follow all these things. You just take few elements of this and initially practice. I think phenomenal transformation will happen if you practice this in your career, in students' career, and learning overall. It gives you great results. And close class activity, field work, spectrum to field work, online discussion board with the industry people also connect and have a discussion with them after the class. Project report, go to send them to internship report, develop and describe new solutions for a particular problem, develop, create, evaluate the problem. Friends, I tell you, India is full of problems. So when you look at a problem, give a problem to the student, and they find the problem. The student find the solution for this, problem. That's a big success. There is a startup emerges. Clear? So everywhere there is a problem, and everywhere there is an opportunity for the student. I tell you. So, friends, these are the things I would like to give you inputs. I think, Professor, can we connect to the audience so that let's have take some examples here from the students or interact fellow members. Can we take some questions, professors, from the fellow audience?
Yeah, funny.
Mr. Pani? Yeah, very informative session, sir. If possible, please add the factors contributing, creating, generating idea, as well as to the presentation that will be best interest. Okay, creating and generating ideas, right? Okay. For example, I'll give you an idea, sir. Right. So one of the cases that we went to a village over there near in Kerala. So we saw that they make lamps, traditional lamps in brass. So we went and the group of students went to that market and studied that why the sales was not picking up. So a lot of deliberation happens in the class. What is the factor? Why that the sales is not shooting up? All that deliberation happens in the classroom, and we saw an answer that instead of making just a plain lamp, instead of that, put one Jesus Christ on the top, or put one Vinayagar statue at the top. So that's what we call it as value addition. So generating ideas, value addition is not there in that. So this is been possible by the students when they take the conceptual learning, go to the market and do a lot of observation and give the creation of knowledge. So the sales shoot up. And similarly, the hostel students, they interact with the self-help groups. And tamarind, the self-help groups were not able to market the tamarind. So what the hostel student did a survey research project, and they did the packaging of that tamarind in rural area by interacting with the self-help group and did packaging. And that tamarind, what happened? It picks up, and they identified. They use their marketing skills and connect all the hostel mess to buy only the tamarind, which is from this following self-help group. You understand this, sir? So this is what we call it as creation or generating ideas. And similarly, my earlier experience, Chennai consumes so much of small onion, but peeling that onion, we don't have machinery. So the engineering students, create a machine to peel the small onion. So huge potential for that machine, sir. So like this, so this is what interaction with the industry is required. So which is very much missing among our faculty community. If we follow the lower order and higher order, most of us are stuck with the lower order. Rather, we elevate to the higher order of application, analysis, creation, and evaluation. Definitely, I think our students can transform this economy of India. Correct, sir? Right. Any other questions from the fellow audience? I think Professor Gopal, I have given you suggested ideal classroom duration to make model effect. As any college of 50 minutes, is that sufficient? Yes, sir. See, within 50 minutes, would you like to take, limited concept? Go with that, sir. Why you, plan accordingly. Have your subject guide precisely, because if I'm not mistaken, 3 credit or 4 credit. If it is 4 credit, it is 60 hours of classroom sessions are happening. So within that, you can most of the syllabus are 5 units. So each unit's 15 units. I think 60 hours of class. I think you can very well plan yourself, sir. 50 minutes is sufficient. Yes, I hope I have answered this question. Suggest ideal classroom duration to make flip the model. What can I do as a parent to help my students succeed in flip classroom? Beautiful question, sir. As a parent, I have my son who's doing MTech VLSI. He was doing a lot of pre-reading. As a parent, I facilitate with a lot of journal, magazines, whatever resources he needs, I facilitate to him, so that and give an environment to learn, sir. To give an environment to learn, give a resources to learn. Always talk positive about him, and don't push your aspiration towards the student. Let the student comes out with his own passion and aspiration. Most of the parents try to push their aspiration on the students. That should not be the case. So make the students realize that he is a great man. Please always be motivative, give a positive vibe environment. I think definitely this flipped class will help. And of course, the internet connection you have to provide, so that he has to do a lot of pre-reading work. A lot of deliberation happens among the peers in the pre-reading. So I think, hope I have suggested, given answer for your query. Yes. Any other things?
Sir, I think the questions are done with.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yes.
I think there are no more questions. I think you have delivered a very excellent talk, sir. Like
Yes, sir.
a combination of BTL as well as flipped classroom model. Definitely very innovative approach. I hope all the participants got the idea how to engage the students with the flipped
Yes.
classroom model, because
All they,
information
yeah, all
has.
they need a little bit of practice, sir. Practice makes a man perfect. Extra mile, extra. The passion of the faculty matters. I think, as being, I'm a dean of a school and you are a dean of your school, like that, each leader should encourage these kind of new pedagogical approach and give space for them, so that definitely we can transform the students, sir.
Yes, sir. Definitely, all classroom must be equipped with minimum facilities like with internet and screens.
Beautiful. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So I think Sunday you spent a lot of purposeful time with all the participants, sir. We
Thank you.
profusely thank for your effort,
Thank you
and
so
in
much.
future
Thank
also
you.
we'll utilize your services.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
I hope all the participants got the message from the Professor Arun Kumar about how to be innovative, how to be engaging the students. As I said in the beginning, our job is to make a passive student to active learner. So this particular approach, I strongly believe, will be a very useful method or a model to be followed by every higher education institution's faculty member. So with this, I thank on behalf of Department of Business Administration, PV Siddhartha College of Arts and Science, Dr. Arun Shivakumar, the Dean of VIT Andhra Pradesh, situated in Amravati, for giving us the valuable inputs as far as innovative pedagogical tools and how to be more effective in engaging the classroom as far as the students are concerned. So, our main objective of this particular FDP is to reorient our faculty members about this methodology so that the larger section of the students will get a lot of benefit in future. With this, I think we will sign off the session today.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you very
Thank you,
much,
sir.
sir.
Thanks for
I
your
thank
time.
wholeheartedly Professor Rajesh, sir, Dean Siddhartha College, for giving this wonderful opportunity, and all your fellow colleagues for this opportunity. Thank you so much. And
So,
profusely thank your management also. Thank you so
thank
much.
you, sir.
Thank
I also just put some kind of information that tomorrow is also we have a session at 11 o'clock. That is also a very interesting session. This is relating with higher education and society, the symbiotic relationship between society and higher education.
Fantastic.
Professor Shotriya of Delhi University is going to engage the session. He's a very, I hope he is a very renowned professor, and he is running happiness club or happiness lab at his university.
Okay.
So the purpose of the human being is to be happy,
Okay.
and happiness comes from contribution or living a purposeful life. I strongly believe this particular endeavor of faculty development program is in that direction, and I request all the participants to join tomorrow's session also. And you will be receiving the feedback link in the WhatsApp group, and we seek your valuable feedback about the session. And with this, we are signing off the session today. Thank you very much, all the
Thank you, sir.
participants. I
Thank you.
also thank Mr. Fani Krishna for the technical support. Despite being Sunday, he has supported us very well. Thank you very much. Thank you, sir. We are
Thank you, sir.
signing off the session. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you all.